writers and amazing directors to help guide us through the entire process. So it is on us as well, but I'd also say it's a credit to them too.
Thank you. Thank you. Hi.
Hello. This is a question for both of you. So welcome to Chicago. We care about our hot dogs very seriously. Don't ever put ketchup on it. Along those lines, thank you. I have a question. It's a good conversation starter, so that's why I'm asking you. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Here you are with the hard-hitting questions with the Picard panel. I don't know, guys. What do you think?
So if we think about the definition...
What do we call a sandwich?
So the definition of a sandwich, does there have to be bread?
I think it's the shape too, though.
I'm going to look up the definition of a sandwich.
If there has to be bread, then it's like, okay, well, if you're having a hot dog on a bun, then that's that much.
Does it have to be like a spread on the bread to make a sandwich?
But the shape is so unique. I don't know.
I'm going to go with no. Cool. Just because I wouldn't... Oh, no, I'd put mustard in a sandwich. I don't know now.
I wouldn't naturally go, hey, hand me that sandwich. If I was like, I want that hot dog, I would just be like, I want a hot dog. I don't want that sandwich. I want a hot dog.
And back home, we call like, not every hot dog, but we call like, hot dogs that you cook on the pan, sausage and bread. So it's a sausage and bread to me.
Okay, fair. So there you go.
Thank you. Thank you for that
hard-hitting question.
Chicago. I'm surprised it wasn't about deep dish. So that's probably later in line. I think, Isa, you threw out just very casually, I was in Hamilton. And just like to talk about that for a minute here. Yeah. Could you share your experience? It's such an epic musical. It kind of, I feel like, defines our generation. Lin-Manuel's so talented and so amazing. Tell me about your experience.
Well, as you guys know, Hamilton has been in Chicago for quite a while. Just ended their run, so you guys have had front row seats for a little bit, which is awesome. But yeah, it's a show that just changed my life. I was a huge fan, obviously, like so many people before I started doing it. When it came out, I had just finished, or I was about to finish high school, and I was musical theater major in high school, and I am obsessed with musical theater. My parents are both musical theater actors, and I was like, Eliza's my dream role. Probably won't do it in a million years, but like it's my dream role. And then a couple years later, I was hired as Peggy Mariah and understudied Eliza, and I got to tour around the country for a year and met so many lifelong friends and learned so much. It was because I didn't go to college, but it felt like tour was the perfect kind of education, because it's kind of like college. You're in these hotel rooms, kind of dorm room-ish, and you're with the same people all the time. You're traveling with this family, and you have like a set routine of what you're doing every day. You're doing the show every day, and it was the perfect education, and felt like everything I learned from that was the perfect way to enter into doing a show like this, which, because Hamilton has such a wonderful fan base, and now to go to Star Trek, which is that times 1,000, is really, really special.
That's amazing. Well, congratulations. That's a great 2 projects to start your career with.
Yeah, not too shabby.
Yeah.
Hi, thank you so much to both of you for being here. It's a thrill to see you guys here, and I've been really loving Picard. I do have a question about Elnor. In last night's episode, we left him kind of in a precarious position, let's put it that way. So I was hoping you might have some words of comfort about that, and maybe could just hint a little bit at what his arc might look like.
That's code for spoilers.
Yeah, pretty much.
It is code for spoilers.
I have no shame.
What can you say? Evan?
I don't know what I can say without getting in trouble. Apart from wait and see. That's all I can really. Don't be worried.
Hey, but you guys got to see our first scene together where we don't talk to each other.
We look at each other
in the same room.
What a stare.
You say my name, and I'm not looking at you. I'm just like, But, special bonds were made that day.
Did we realize that was our first scene on the day? I think we're like, we haven't shot together yet.
Because we all got close at San Diego Comic-Con. I think was the first time the whole cast was really together. And so we felt like we'd been working together for a while, but then we were on set and we were like,
Hang on.
I don't think I've seen you before. But hey, now we're besties.
And the question is, do we ever meet again now? Because we don't know.
That's the question.
Thank you. Sorry to put you on the spot like that.
Thank you. Great question. Hi.
Hi. I'm a big fan, and one of my favorite things is collecting figures and things. Are there any action figures in the works for both your characters, or is that something that you'd be interested in?
Well, I did the poses for it. We
did the poses, right?
Yeah.
So I hope they'll be coming out soon. Yeah, the way that they do it, like they take pictures of you and like
certain
and they make
movements.
you turn a little bit, and so they can get the whole view of your body. But we haven't seen them yet. But I'm very excited about it.
That's the thing I'm looking forward to the most. I wasn't even looking forward to the show. I'm like, whatever, where's my toy?
Whatever, I can do a show or whatever, but I want to hold myself in my hand.
Now.
I'll not say the joke that I usually have said about action figures and holding them yourself.
Yeah, maybe.
But isn't that kind of like, it's definitely one thing that every actor aspires to, whether you're a comedian or a serious actor, is getting that action figure, I think. So that'd be pretty cool.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi. I'm really jealous that you get to touch Harry Treadway's hair sometimes. So can you talk briefly just working with him and those scenes you have, or how is it like to work with Harry in that role?
For a while, as you can see, like a lot of the storylines are so separated. You know, the La Serena crew is off on their mission, and I'm very much kind of in the dark. Really, the board cube is very dark. Harry was kind of the only person I was working with for a while. Harry and Jonathan Del Arco, we kind of had our own little crew over there, and that was awesome. Kind of establishing that vibe of the board cube feels very different from what's happening on the La Serena. So it's cool to have established that, and we got to work together a lot at making that, and also the set is amazing for the board cube. Probably one of my favorite sets to be on, because they just really make you feel like you're in this place that you shouldn't be, because it's so eerie, the lights and the smoke and everything. It's really great. But yeah, Harry and I had a lot of fun working in bed most of the time. We're often under sheets, as you can see in these scenes. But yeah, and then we'll hopefully see who else Soji gets to interact with, because now he kind of screwed her over, so we'll see.
Is he like funny or super serious all the time?
Who, him?
Yeah, Harry.
Oh, you should see the two of them together. Oh my God.
No.
It's a mess. It's a mess.
It is.
No, but the whole cast, we're all a pretty funny group of people, I gotta say. Bunch of jokesters.
But that's why I think it translates. You can always tell when a cast gets along and enjoys being together when you watch the show, and it just feels like you're on this ride, you know? Mm-hmm. Okay, so who asked the hot dog question? Where'd you go? Oh. Okay, so it took me all this time, but I pulled up the definition of a sandwich. This is Merriam-Webster, okay? Definition of a sandwich: 2 or more slices of bread or a split roll having a filling in between, or 1 slice of bread covered with food, as an open-faced sandwich. Or the second definition is something resembling a sandwich. So based on those very extensive Merriam-Webster
interpretation,
what is a hot dog?
It's a sandwich.
Well, then I guess it must be a sandwich if that's the definition.
It's not my go-to sandwich.
It's not my
but it's
go-to.
still a sandwich, yeah.
I think a hot dog is a hot dog, in my opinion.
Why is it even called a hot dog? Like, isn't it beef or? I don't get it. It's no offense.
We don't ask what's in a hot dog, Evan. You don't want to know.
First rule of Fight Club. Don't ask.
Rookie mistake.
Okay, hi.
Hi, my name's Brian.
Hi.
My question is, what's been the biggest mental change, shocker, thought process of entering the Star Trek mythos with, well, all these people?
Shocker. What's been the big shock?
Well, mental thought, something that's kicked you in the head, like, oh, I'm now part of this, or hey, oh shoot, now I have to deal with this.
Well,
whatever.
I'd say you beautiful people. I mean, when we came out in San Diego and we were just welcomed by a sea of amazing Trekkies screaming our name.
Before anyone even knew us.
And before any of you had seen our trailer, I'd say that's when things really changed for me, just mentally, because you're at work and the focus is the job and just getting your character right and working well in order to make sure that we're doing something special and something worth doing. And then, I'd say that was the change. What about you?
Yeah, well, I think we're all aware that Star Trek has an amazing fan base, but I think once you're in it, you get a whole other view of it. How I feel like there's so many people I've talked to who really make it clear how important Star Trek has been to them in growing up and coming into who they are as people. And that's really touching, because I feel like I've talked to so many people that have said Star Trek was their family when maybe they didn't have a family to rely on, or they felt different, they felt other, and this Star Trek was their home. And that is so special that we now get to be part of that family. And I feel like that's been the overarching theme of being a part of this, is just family.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Hi.
First of all, you two are both so gorgeous and talented. Wow, thank you for being here. My question is, we touched on it earlier, one of your first questions, but as far as research goes, not just with the Romulans and with your relationship to Data, but what about the other characters and everything? Did you watch Voyager for 7 of 9 and the Borg? And we know Guinan's coming in season 2. How deep did your research go with the other characters, not just with Picard, but some of those other famous fan favorites?
Well, with their history, you have to think of how it's relevant to your character's history and your character's understanding and their point in their story of Picard. So, I mean, I already knew who 7 of 9 was, obviously, and I've lost my mind when I found out that she was going to be in the show. I called my mum. We weren't allowed to tell anyone. I called mum straight away. I was like, you have no idea who's going to be on my episode. And she's like, who's going to be in there? And then I was like, 7 of 9. She's like, no way. No way, you're lying. She thought I was lying the entire time until she actually appeared. But yeah, it's just about understanding your character's world and your character's history and the history that they would have been educated in the world. So our characters may have heard of 7 of 9 or have some idea about it, but that was the first time my characters ever met her. So that's all I can go off of those experiences and interactions between one another.
Yeah, I tried not to do too much research because, one, I feel like I would have been too nervous to talk to anyone if I really became a huge fan of someone. I'd be too nervous to film with them. But also, yeah, so Soji doesn't know anything about what's going on. I mean, she's very much discovering everything as she goes. So I kind of tried to mirror that in the work that I did behind the scenes. As I met new people, new characters, that's when I would really start to look them up and try to get a bigger picture. But you try to go at it from the perspective of your character to be as truthful as possible.
Thank you.
Thank you. I can't help but notice your bracelets.
Yeah.
Were those gifts today?
No, actually, my friend, for my birthday, she made these bracelets that say Daj and Soji.
Aren't those awesome?
And I also have a ring version of my necklace as well, because I don't wear a lot of necklaces, but I wear rings all the time. So the woman who designed the necklace, Allison from Rock Love Jewelry, I communicated with her and we worked out a design and came up with this. And I love it. I wear it all the time.
I love it. That's awesome. Hi.
Hi. I've got a bit of a boring technical question. Older Star Trek had a lot more isolated episodes by themselves, and something like this is obviously much more of a long story tied together. So from your guys' perspective, do you have to shoot one episode, everything in episode 1 before moving on to episode 2, or do you have to consolidate like sets and locations and mix and match between them?
We did a block shooting, so we had to do 2 episodes at a time, and one of our blocks actually we had to film
An episode
ahead of, so we had a whole episode missing, and we hadn't even read the episode in the middle, so we had no idea what was happening. Scared. We were like, "What's going to happen?"